You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And welcome, this is Michael Lodge. I'm glad you've joined me. I'm recording this in the afternoon, so it's about 5 o'clock, so I have all my windows open. So if you hear cars go by, if you hear a train whistling, if you hear noise, it's because today the wind is blowing. It's in the low 70s, and it's a beautiful day to get fresh air into the house. I can turn off the air conditioning and be thankful that the wind is blowing and I've got fresh air. It's wonderful. I tell you, you get so tired of being cooped up in air conditioning all the time that when you get fresh air, you take advantage of it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking advantage of it. I wanted to talk just a little bit. You know, we've been going through this political scene, right? I mean, it's been a disgusting scene. Let's be honest with it. I don't care if you're liberal or Democrat or socialist or Republican or whatever. This has been a dirty election season. But I want you to understand that what happens in politics affects our business, affects it in several different ways. Because the new power that's going into the White House, if there will be any new power, can change our business structure tremendously. I mean, it can literally damage us tremendously. And we have a power structure that's in play in a lot of the different states as governors, where they're shutting you down. Which means that your businesses, once again, has to shut down. You have to be squandered away in your home, and you can no longer really operate as a business. I don't know how long you guys can last. But I want you to understand that who is in power dictates how successful our businesses can be based upon what they do for us. But if they shut you down, what happens? Business stops. You become cold. You become like you're in a dungeon where you can't move forward. So as I've said in my previous podcast, from this point forward, because we don't know what's going to happen, that you have to operate very conservatively. That means that you have to build up your cash reserves. You're not going to hire anymore at the moment. You're not going to spend big things on capital expenditures. And if you're a big business, you're probably looking at, okay, where do I move my money so it's safe, so it's not taxed? Okay? So under the Trump administration, it reduced corporate taxes tremendously. And so money started pouring back into the United States. Jobs were being created. Now the plan that Biden wants to do is he wants to raise it up again to where it was, or close to where it was. So what happens? Okay, so people are not knowing what's going to happen, so they're looking for other alternatives. And I'm talking about legal alternatives, not trying to get away with not paying taxes illegally, but to legally structure it so that they can move their companies again offshore. Capital is already leaving the United States. It's already. Wall Street, if you talk to the Wall Street insiders there on the street, they're moving their capital. And the reason why is because high taxes, high employment issues, and when you have those two combined, especially on the higher taxes, and you don't know what to do except to leave the United States. And that's what we saw happen under the Obama administration. I've talked about this all before. But I want you to understand that when you tax more, that means that the revenues of companies is less, and the employment taxes have gone up, the corporate tax rates have gone up, and other tax rates are going up in the local states like California. They're just about ready to raise their taxes. So when you add all that up, it's a disaster. Because now companies are saying, okay, we do not want to invest in the United States anymore because we can't afford those kinds of taxes. Especially if you, let's say, the federal tax rate for corporation goes up to 29%. Why would they do that when they can go to Ireland for, 12 to 16%? I can't remember, but it's a very low rate. Or even to other countries where the rates are much lower. Why stay in the United States when you are taxed through the nose? Remember, all of you seem to forget that businesses pay a lot of taxes. I know you guys came down hard on Trump not paying any taxes, but he prepaid his taxes. In other words, he did estimated taxes and prepaid it. And at the end of the year, he had paid enough taxes in that at the end of the year, he only owed a small amount, which is the way you're supposed to do it. Listen, I've been a tax guy since 1984, and that is how we always try to plan our tax clients, is that prepay, do your estimated taxes so at the end of the year you don't owe. Otherwise, if you don't, at the end of the year, you're going to owe a whole bunch of money. So you try to be proactive. So Trump did it right. So get off his back and stop being so stupid. Well, companies now have the ability to leave this country. They can put their corporations in other countries. There are tax treaties between these countries that will help them. So why would I stay here at 29% when I can go to another country that offers 12% or 16%? There's a big difference there. Now, not only are they paying the federal taxes, but there's also the state taxes. California has one of the highest state taxes ever for businesses. They hate businesses for some reason. But look at all the other taxes that they pay. They pay sales and use taxes. They pay employment taxes. They pay property taxes. They pay, if they're a hotel, they're paying all that plus a hotel tax. So they are being taxed. And then also there's that transportation taxes that they pay on their fuel. If you're a trucking company, you pay a lot in federal and state fuel taxes. So you might think that a business is, you hear of this outlandish claims that businesses are not paying taxes. I'm telling you right now, they are paying through the nose. They are paying through the nose, and it hurts. So, federal taxes go up, I'm going out. I'm leaving this country. I'm going to move my company, that I'm talking about as a corporation, okay, that's doing business. I am going to take my money, move it offshore. I'm going to take my corporations, move them offshore. I've got tax treaties to protect me. And I'm going to do something for my company and my shareholders. Any cash that I have in those foreign places, what am I going to do? I'm going to start buying up companies. Not in the U.S., but abroad. So who wins here? Well, other foreign countries. They win. Now, if you had a lower tax rate that we have right now, money would be flowing in. All of the foreign corporations say, oh my goodness, look at the United States. They've got the infrastructure. They have got a low tax rate. They have the ability to move things. And plus, it's in a safe country. It's in a country where there's very little risk. The only risk that is there are politicians. And they see it. So a lower tax rate creates more revenue for the government because there's more volume of money going through that corporation. You guys think that the tax rates went down, but they're not paying anything. It's untrue. They're paying through the nose. The issue is that the government, the federal government and the state governments are making more money because the volume of cash is greater because they're able to sell more and they're able to reduce the prices and they're able to hire people. So you've got a whole bunch of tax revenue being generated there. You get the payroll taxes, and you've got the corporate taxes, and you've got a volume based upon the dollar amount that is sold and the net income. So what's happening now is that we have this pre-elected person that is claiming to be president or wanted to be president. But what he's doing is, even before he's even put his hand on the Bible, capital is leaving because they're so freaking afraid of what's going to happen. Now, the other issue that we have to take into consideration is that the governments that are in place, how are they hurting you? Well, if you look at California, they have this power grab that on these rentals where people cannot pay, they have set themselves up to become the landlords. It is a power play that no one is paying attention to. And there's going to be a lot of foreclosures there, and there's going to be a lot of unhappy individuals. There's already unhappy people there, but even more. When you have so much business leaving a state, and it's leaving by every single day, there's another company leaving. There's another family leaving because they can no longer afford to live in a high-tax state. And the state of California is just about ready to implement more taxes. Now, California is so dumb that they don't even care about that they're losing business. They don't care because they can tax all the individuals there to make it for all of the corporate loss that they're missing now. They don't care because they're not very smart people. They're just not very smart. By the way, I have to say this because it's on my heart to say this. You know, the Democrats keep talking about unity. Let me tell you that if the Democrats keep Nancy Pelosi as the Speaker of the House, don't ever expect to have any unity. Every day she gets up and goes to the opposite of unity, where she's constantly attacking, and she's been doing it for the last 4 years, and it's the Americans are tired. It's time for Nancy Pelosi to go. If you want some good business ideas to get through the Congress, she has to go because she blocks everything good that is for business. But she hides things in her bills, which is so sneaky, that hurts business. We just can't have this anymore. Nancy Pelosi has done so much damage over the last 4 years that it's pitiful to even think about it. So she has got to go. But even though that she's gone, whoever they put in there has got to be middle road. If they're not middle road, if they're too far left, no unity. There won't even be even the talk of unity. And if they keep calling people names, excuse me, they keep calling them Nazis and I tell you, it's staggering of what all the names that they call. But I want to tell you that in order for your business to survive, you've got to be very careful about who you put into office. Now, right now, Congress is very close to being Republican because so many new Republicans have been voted in. In 2 more years, when they have another election for Congress, you're going to see that it will finally go over to the Republican side because Democrats have just fouled everything up in Congress. They're tired of all of these insane policies, especially when they're talking so heavily about tax. Raise the taxes, take away all of the business incentives that Trump gave everybody. Take it away. So we have to be very careful. Right now, if the Republicans can keep the Senate, we have a buffer. Because remember, the tax incentives that Trump has given you, I think they expire in 2025. So we're safe just a little bit longer. But if Democrats get both power of both houses, They can push through and they can raise taxes just like that. But right now, we have this buffer of a Republican Senate that can stop those taxes of being raised, and a whole bunch of other nonsense that may come through Congress. We have a buffer. And so we have to be, and I stress this so much, we have to be very careful as business people. Forget about if you're a liberal or a Democrat or whatever. Forget about that. Or a Republican. Forget about that. Think about what laws, what taxes, what tax codes are going to be changed because of who's in power. And how is it going to hurt you financially? How is it going to curb a downturn or an upturn based upon what politicians put in place for new tax law and for new commerce law and economics and all that other stuff? If they become too red tape heavy, that slows down business. It slows it down. And so we will once again be put on pause because small businesses won't know what to do. But I'm telling you right now, when you're doing your business planning for 2021, be a financial conservative. Because that's the only way that you'll make it through. We're talking about all these lockdowns that these governors want to put in place. It just cannot happen anymore. Because it's hurting America and the communities in America so greatly. And that really tugs at my heart when I see businesses writing to me and emailing me and saying, what do we do? And the answer is stand up and fight. Defy what these governors are doing. And right now in California, they have this huge mandate that the governor has put in place that is truly going to hurt business. It is going to, whatever in business, if you're listening to me, if you're a business person in California, if you're not fighting Governor Newsom on his lockdown, then you're nuts. Yes, I understand that there's a health issue. But if you manage your own life and the people health issues within the company and you're being safe and you're following all the CDC instructions and you're even improving them as you go along, you're going to make it. But if you're locked down, you're locked down. You can't do anything. So, listen. If you're in California, stand up, rebel, defy. Do what you have to do. Protect your businesses, protect your communities, protect your schools, protect your people, your kids that need to go to school and get back into school. Listen, this is a virus. It's going to spread. It's going to mutate. It's going to touch us in some way of our life, just like the flu and the cold and the swine flu and all this other stuff that has come into our lives over the year. This virus is the same thing. It might be a little heavy duty, but we can fight it. We've got good medications to fight this. We have an excellent healthcare system to help us through it. But you cannot shut your businesses down. You cannot let your schools be shut down. You have got to really choose better on who runs your state. Because what they do can destroy you. Just like right now with Gavin Newsom. I knew that this was going to happen. And I warned everybody when he was running for governor. Beware, because this guy is dangerous. He is a relative of Nancy Pelosi. So just think about that a little bit. Listen, I love this great country and I love business. And I want to be able to guide you through this. And if you need to start preparing, and I'm telling you right now, you need to start preparing for 2021. How are you going to manage COVID? How are you going to manage any lockdown that should occur? How are we going to get through this? What are you going to do in your budgeting for next year? What is your business plan for next year? You've got to be thinking about that right now. Right now is November. A few more days, it's going to be December. And then a few more days after that, it's a brand new year of 2021. So I'm begging you right now, sit down this weekend and begin planning for 2021. Take your journal or your notepad or whatever you use. Forget about the computer, because you need to put this in writing. Because when you put it in writing, you're going to get it done. If it's on the computer, it just sits there. Put it in writing. Make sure it's in front of you every single day. Make sure that you have planned for 2021. Make sure that you are putting together a good bank account that can get you through whatever these stupid politicians are going to do. We may be on pause for 4 years, just like we were on pause under Obama. So let's start planning. Let's start working on this, because we have a lot to get done, and we have got to survive. You and I have got to survive. I would hate to see, luckily here in Florida, the governor has said he is not going to comply with any lockdown that the president says to do, which is good. At least we have a governor that is going to fight back and stand up for American business in Florida. California, I'm sorry, but you are really screwed up. I almost used the F word, but I can't. You are screwed up because you have a governor out of control. You have a state legislature out of control. You have local governments out of control. Now, if you don't fix that through your voting, and if you don't start putting people that know what they're doing, not politically, but know what they're doing in business and everything else to help the business community, then you're going to be screwed for 4 more years. Or how much? I think he only has 2 more years left in his term, doesn't he? Because Gavin Newsom is a true idiot. And what he is doing to state of... Listen, I was born in California. I love California. I miss California because I had to move away. I could not afford those taxes anymore. I could not afford the high price of living there. I could not afford the high gas prices that were there because of the taxes. The main reason why those gas prices are so high is because you've got a federal fuel tax, gas tax, and you have got a state gas tax, and then you have a third gas tax on there, which happens to, I forgot what the name of the division of California is. It's the coastal division. The coastal is something. You have another tax that goes on there. So you've got a whole 3 taxes that you pay every single time. I mean, that you pay for gas there. You are taxed through the nose. And as long as you choose to put an individual like Gavin Newsom in place, you are going to be screwed over and over again. And as Californians leave, and as businesses and corporations leave the state, the only people that's going to be there are the low income and the very, very rich. And, by the way, the government of California doesn't care. They have literally said, let them leave. Let them leave. When they were having that brawl with Tesla, the senators and the assembly people were saying, let them leave, let them go. Toyota left, let them leave, let them go. A whole bunch of companies that provided a whole bunch of jobs left because they said no more of California. It's absolutely nuts to be there. So when we are thinking about our businesses, you have got to really think about who is in power. Who are we putting in power that is pro-business? Because right now, with the election that we just had, and the people who are moving into the federal government on the presidential side, and the people who are moving into politicians who are moving into state leadership roles, who have a very anti-business attitude. And once you have that, businesses are in trouble. And I'm telling you, with this last lockdown that we all experienced, as I walk through Palm Beach, and as I walk along Worth Avenue, which is the Rodeo Drive of Florida, and I see all of these storefronts boarded up with for lease signs on it, where very good stores used to be. Individually operated stores at the upper end. They're gone. Nordstrom's is leaving Worth Avenue because they can no longer make it there because of the lockdown situation. And we see this all around the nation. Either it's been hurt by riots and looting and everything else, or it's been hurt by politicians who don't care about small business. I remember as a kid, I always dreamed that I would own my own firm. And I have owned a lot of companies throughout my life. And I have touched the lives of many, and many people have touched my life because of being a small business. And I hate that we have come to the part of life where we have individuals in government that hate business. They hate the poor small business guy who's trying to make ends meet. So, listen, for this holiday season, please support your local business people. They need your help. The bakery, the stylist, the small restaurant, the paper shop that sells paper, the people that fix watches, the local jewelers. All these small little mom and pop operations need your help because we are faced with a situation where individuals have been put in office that do not like small business. They are anti-small business. And we have got to stand up for ourselves. You know, I talked about this the other day. And you know how people say, oh, with God's help, we are going to pray for God's help. We're going to pray for that. You know, God's not going to listen to you unless he sees you working at it too. So if you want something better for your business, you better work at it. But if you pray for God's help, he wants to see you working at it because he'll work right along with you. So you have to have faith, yes, but you also have to work it. God wants to see you working. He wants to see you fighting for your business. And sometimes we have to defy government to be able to protect our businesses. I will never lock down again. Never. And I will not allow government to cancel Thanksgiving or cancel Christmas or to shut down churches or even to shut down our businesses. I will never lock down again. And you need to make that same commitment that you will never lock down. You will stand up and you will fight. Because Gavin Newsom is an idiot. And I'm afraid that you in California, you're stuck with an idiot. Those of you in other states in New York, you're stuck with an idiot governor there too. Stand up and fight. Fight for your rights. Fight for your constitutionality rights. America's a great country. And I love all of you out there who are working so hard to keep your businesses going. So the point of today's podcast is that we have to be very careful about who we put into office. I don't care if you think that it should all be Democrats. I don't care if you think it all should be Republicans. No, that's not how we vote for people. We vote for people who are going to support small business, who are going to work on the economy, who are going to create jobs, who have the ability to accomplish something, and that they're not politicians anymore. Because these politicians who have been in office for so long don't care about you and me. So let's really focus as we get closer to these elections that are coming up. I hate to say that we have to think about it so soon, but it's coming up. A year or 2 years, we're going to have more elections for members of Congress and members for the Senate. Choose wisely. Choose the individuals who will protect you, protect your business, protect your family. This is Mike Lodge. Listen, we'll talk very soon. If you have a question or if you have a comment, send me a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Go to www.lodge-co.com. Find out what I do in my day job. Let's go for it, guys. Let's stand up. Let's fight. I look forward to talking to you and working with you. Listen, even if you need help, just send me a text. If you have a question, and I'll answer. America is a great country, and so are you. You are great people. I put all my faith in you because I know that you will fight. Talk with you soon. This is Mike Lodge. God bless. Take care. This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. God bless. Bye-bye.